Good day, everyone. This is Spartacus, and welcome back to yet another Starving Hallow challenge. Today we're doing a nature challenge where I'm only using Nairu, Silvara, and the Arborean Emissary as my only tower. It was actually quite a challenging, actually very challenging challenge because, well, obviously. Arborean Emissary doesn't have any damage. Well, barely any damage, and the Nairu is like my only consistent anti-air. So yeah, it wasn't easy. Unfortunately, I couldn't do a no lives lost, but I still beat it, so I'm happy with it. When it comes to no lives lost, I think it's possible. I'm not really sure, honestly. There are some seriously hard waves that may be impossible to do no lips lost. But it's fine. If you want to give it a shot, just have at it. Now, funny story, the recording you're seeing is actually my second completion because the first time I beat it, the recording got corrupted and it was super choppy and laggy and it was basically unwatchable. I wanted to do a commentary on that and explain what was happening despite barely it's being super choppy. I was like, no, I'm not gonna let my 5 viewers get their eyes gouged out by the terrible recording. So I for you guys, I repeat it. I did slightly worse, but I did on the boss way better. So it's fine. I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. So yeah, the usual unskippable cutscene. I have a boring emissary prepared for this challenge right here. And yeah, now if you've seen my red only challenge or my all the worlds and exit challenge, you'll know exactly what I'm gonna do now. But for those who don't know, let me explain. So basically, I'm not building any towers right now to essentially save money. Because, well, Abominator doesn't get to eat any of them, and I don't have to spend 220 gold to build anything. Yeah, so you're gonna see just pure hero gameplay for a few waves. But yeah, it wasn't easy this time, because I only have Naira and Silvara, and the enemies are actually pretty tough. I'm mostly gonna be using Thorny Breath as my main damage, because the bleed is actually insane on, well, any of the starting enemies, because they're actually pretty fast. Even on killer tiles, it's actually really decent damage. Now, speaking of which, we have our first killer tiles here. I'm basically trying to get an insta-kill on them if I possibly can. Unfortunately, I don't, but that's fine. Again, bleed is actually really insane on these guys. Look, they're almost dead. So yeah, I'm leaving killer tiles to Silvara and moving Naira back to damage those gators on the other side. I'm also auto-canceling Silvara so that I get a bleed on every shot. It's like a miniature exploit, but I think it's honestly fine because one mistake and it's gone. So yeah, Nairu's gonna deal with that side, and I get my attention back on the killer tiles because, well, obviously they're super tough and I really need to kill them. Now, we're already on wave 3. This is actually going pretty smoothly. The killer tiles are almost dead. Yeah, there goes one. And the other one's gonna be finished soon. Now, Silvara is being stupid. She's not attacking. She has some serious targeting issues. But it's fine, I'll just relocate her on the gators, and the killer tile is almost dead. I don't have to worry about him anymore. Yeah, there we go. Now this wave, don't get fooled. There's actually quick feet coming out of the whirlpool, so we might get killer towels. We have to be very, very careful. Yeah, there we go, they have chicken also. We don't want any killer towels. Now, if we do get one, that's not too bad, because it's only one, and it's also extra gold. So it's fine. But we don't get any, so unfortunately. Yeah. We're dealing with the gators on one side, Naira's dealing with the other gators on the other side. Basically, things are going smoothly. And now we have some killer towels, some gators, and some quick feet coming on the left side. Ooh, that was a great, beautiful insta-kill on that killer tile. Really happy with that one. Killer tiles are actually pretty challenging in the starting waves when you don't have any towers. And there goes the last killer tile. Now we're gonna have some quick feed. They're fortunately not gonna have any chicken for this wave. Well, for this specific wave that's coming out right now. The next one is gonna have everybody's gonna have a chicken. So yeah, I have to deal with these guys ASAP to make sure that none of them get chicken. I'm sorry if I'm being too quiet. I'm unfortunately in the dorm. I have to be silent to not disturb everybody. Oh, here comes the chicken. Silvar once again is having targeting issues, which kinda sucks. And yeah, I don't place my reinforcements in time when we get a killer tile. But it's okay, it's just one killer tile, we can deal with him pretty easily. The next wave's not coming anytime soon, so I can actually take my time. Speaking of next wave, that's when we're actually gonna build our first tower. Now, if you know the trick, I'm gonna wait a bit until I see the fires coming. And that's when I'm gonna do. You may have noticed I've placed my reinforcements a bit back further instead of like spawn camping. That's because, well, Silvara acts like an artillery. And basically, yeah, you saw that? You saw that? The Wake Rock got bleeding from Thorny Breath, so I'm basically luring killer tiles onto the flyer path and stalling them there so that Silvara could potentially hit a flyer and do some damage, or even kill it with a Thorny Breath. That's like the best case scenario. Now we have a bunch of gators coming. There we go, another Wingtrot caught with the Thorny Breath. It's really great, honestly. Alright, now we're moving on to wave 6. I insta-call it because we're gonna do an interesting trick here. Now you may notice I'm not actually like spawn camping any of the eggs or nesting gators, and that's because this is also a trick I use to make more money in this challenge, because I believe Crowkinders only yield 3 gold and gators yield 6 gold, so I'm basically making double the gold from these Crowkinders that are spawning, and some extra money from the nesting gators because they also spawn Crowkinder. Now, I don't think every gold matters in this challenge. I don't know if it does, but I would like to believe that. So yeah, I'm using this trick. Now I finally rebuild a tower that gets destroyed in the very start. We're gonna need that extra damage and debuff from that. And I also build a fodder tower right here. I'm gonna explain what that's for later. But now we finally get the tank shards in the mix. Now, tanks are actually pretty terrifying enemies in this challenge. The three most terrifying enemies are obviously the Hydras, because I have no way to deal with them efficiently because most of my damage is magical. Then there's obviously Winged Crocs because they're flyers, and Tangsars. Tangsars have a lot of health. Their ability allows them to get a lot of distance, and which essentially means they can block my damage. Like for example, they can block my towers or block Nairu from from dealing with flyers, for example. Yeah, they're actually really bad, so I'm trying to kill them as soon as possible, or even get a insta-kill on them if I'm lucky. Now I moved Nairu down to deal with the wise crocs that spawn down there. I'm using melee Nairu because I believe he does physical damage. Yeah. Plus, melee wise crocs deal less damage than with their ranged attack, so that also helps. And Silvara, oh, that was a beautiful insta-kill on that Tankzard. And that Tankzard also is almost dead. And the Washrock is also being absolutely slaughtered. Now, this next wave is actually really terrifying. Our towers get destroyed twice in this one. We have enemies coming from all sides. They're pretty tanky and they can easily block Nairu from dealing with the Crocs, the Winged Crocs. So that's why I get Silvara on this side. I'm first gonna deal with the killer tiles that come from that side, because they're gonna go through the whirlpool and block Nairu if I don't. So I'm gonna just try to absolutely speedrun their health. And as you saw there, this was the use for the father tower, because all the other three towers were in the what are they called? The non-priority ones. So I knew they're not gonna get destroyed. So I put that in that spot specifically because in my opinion that's the least like useful spot. And I'm probably not gonna use it in the run at all. So I just build it there and completely forget about it, basically saving me another 220 gold. And once that's done, I built a fourth tower right next to it to help me deal with these wind trucks. Now, unfortunately, it is gonna get destroyed, but we built with the flying crocs just in time. Not really be an issue. If you don't deal with them in time, sometimes wind trucks can get out of hand at that specific point when the tower's like destroyed. But fortunately, I dealt with them really quickly. Now, Lizard Shot, not a problem. Sylvaris dealing with them. Killer Tiles, again, not a problem. Now, the next wave is gonna be the Hydra wave, which is honestly pretty terrifying. And once again, I'm gonna use melee Naira to deal with the Wise Crocs. And I'm also preparing other Arborean emissaries for wave 12. But yeah, we have Hydras and they're like absolutely atrocious to deal with in this challenge. And here comes the first one. Now, the way I deal with them is I just two-tata my reinforcements. Just hopefully keep them in place. Now, I'm not two-tataing that guy because he's getting constantly healed. So I have my reinforcements. Deck. Look at that, it's almost dead. I believe I wasn't two-tataing there because I was auto-canceling Silvara, but unfortunately she once again doesn't target. She's shooting Lizard Shot instead, which kinda sucks. No, I accidentally get Nairu back. I went to auto-cancel Silvara, but I got Nairu in there instead. So, oops, that was a bit of a blunder on my part, but it's fine. I believe I salvaged this. None of the Hydras actually get through. Now the next wave is already on its way. Well, actually, no. It has a pretty long timer, so I fortunately get to get some time, some very precious time to deal with these Hydras. Because, again, Silvara and Reinforcements are like my two consistent damage dealers. I guess Nairon's supers too. Unfortunately, have to back Nairo there because there's gonna be Pro-Kinder coming there. And I believe your Borean Emissary just can't deal with them in time. Before they like leak and stuff. Now, usually what I do here is I get Silvara on the Nesting Gators to hopefully kill them or even insta-kill them. But I really need this damage on the Hydra, so I'm just leaving her there and just hoping for the best with the Nesting Gators. Now if I do end up moving them, because well, there's only one Hydra left and I'm just gonna two-tata it to hopefully stall it for long enough to get it killed. This web is actually pretty scary because the gators get split, some go through to the Hydra path and some go down. That's honestly pretty lucky. I got really lucky with this Paragon spawn on the Hydra. It stole for a pretty long time. I get really lucky there. Yeah, the Hydra's being stalled, which is good. These gators are actually come in clutch because the Arborian Emissary can actually trigger its Bramble Grass, thanks to it. Yeah, we're still dealing with this Hydra, but the next wave requires actually Solara on those Killer Towers because they go through the Whirlpool. And yeah, it can block my towers. The reason why I'm leaving Nairo there is because of the Wing Crocs. It actually can deal with them just from that spot. But yeah, as you can see, the Killer Towers are already leaking. And I can't really use my reinforcements because I have to deal with the Hydra. But the Hydra's almost dead. Those Killer Towers actually end up dying, only wasting one teleport. The Hydra's almost dead, and as soon as it dies I can get my attention on these Killer Towers. Yes, very good. Very good. Now Silvar is gonna block those lizard shot. Well, not block, but distract them. And she's in her inner nature form, so she's not gonna take any damage, basically. Those lizard shot get really close to my exit, so I unfortunately am forced to burn my vines. But the Killer Towers are dead, the Winged Crocs are not getting anywhere, and the lizard shot not doing anything scary to me. Basically, flawless wave, I would say. We're still on all lives, which is amazing. Now, once again, we are having Hydras on the next wave. And this time I'm unfortunately forced to split my defense, and this is where things start to get a bit out of hand, unfortunately. First of all, Nair wastes his Verdant Blast here, which I didn't want, because I was saving it for the Tankzard. So it really sucked, because I want to kill those Tankzards ASAP. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would have been dead by this point. Maybe not, but like almost dead. But unfortunately, that's wasted Verdant Blast. It didn't help. And once again, he wastes another Verdant Blast on a Croc. Getting really unlucky with these Verdant Blasts. Now, going back to the Hydras, one's almost dead, but sadly we have another one coming. Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be really hard to deal with two of them simultaneously. There's also Lizard Shot, which will also make this a lot harder. So yeah, things are getting a bit out of hand. Remember when I mentioned that this is the second time? The first time I actually leaked on the first Hydra wave. But on this wave I somehow killed both Hydras. So which leads me to believe that you can no lives lost at least up to 12 waves if your micro is on point. I got really lucky because on that attempt the bramble grasps was like perfectly timed, so as soon as one ended, another one would trigger it, and they would be basically infinitely stalled. So yeah, I'm dealing with these Hydras, and we have flying Crocs coming. So yeah, there's Hydras, there's Flyers, and there's Tangzards. All three problematic enemies at the same time. Now I'm trying to stall that Tangzar up there, but I believe this was a mistake because I don't deal any damage to him basically. And the flying crocs are leaking anyway. Now with Silvara, I'm just trying to kill at least one Hydra and then I'll go back to the left side ASAP because there's no way I'm killing the second one. And consistently dealing with the tank swords and wise crocs on that side. So unfortunately, that Hydra is gonna have to leak. Now, because there's tank zards and wise crocs already, well, they're blocking my towers, they're disabling my towers. I'm obviously not gonna have enough damage to deal with these flyers, unfortunately. But it's fine, we still have a lot of lives. And we're actually... That was unfortunate. They healed that flying croc. And he survived a lethal hit. Yeah, this is exactly why tank zards are terrifying. And wise crocs, especially on this wave. Wise crocs on this wave are actually really bad. But we're actually in a pretty good shape. We only leaked 6 flyers and a Hydra. We have 9 lives. And we're actually dealing quite well with this wave. Now, 3 tank zars on each side, and I believe 3 investigators on each side too. Left side is more terrifying to me, so I'm sending in Silvara to deal with those investigators. I'm ignoring tank zars for now on the left side because I'm just gonna stall them eventually. Lyra goes on the right side to deal with, well, obviously the eggs, the Tangzards. And Silvar is actually doing a really good job dealing with those nesting gators. They're actually almost dead. There we go, there's 2. And the last one is going down. There we go. I'm sending Silvar down here, and I believe I'm gonna use reinforcements. Yeah. He's not gonna roll or anything, because he's too close to the safe nodes. He has no health. His friend over there is... He's not gonna do much, so I'm sending Silvara over to the left side to clear everything up. There we go. It is clear. Now the final wave. 2 Hydras, 4 Wise Crocs, and I believe it's like 20 something flyers. I don't really remember. But here once again I screw up Remember the trick I used on wave 5 on the killer tiles? I was supposed to do that here, but instead I just spawn camped the Wisecrocks. And as you can see, they're just using their ranged attack instead, so they're not going on the Hydra path. I also mess up my Sylvara placement, so the Wisecrocks just completely ignore her. Usually they would attack her and stay on the path. I unfortunately did caught one flyer with the bleed, the thorny breath. Now another thing I didn't mention is once again Nairu, I believe wasted his Verdant Blast twice on the Hydras. I really screwed up his placement and I'm leaking a bunch. Yeah, basically I really butchered this wave and lost way too many lives than I should have. But fortunately, I did manage to survive. Really sad. Third Verdant Blast wasted on the stupid Hydra. But yeah, final Electron leaks. I'm on 2 lives. And I have Hydras left. But honestly, when it's just Hydras and you have all of your firepower on them, they're honestly not too bad to deal with. I'm sending Nair once again to deal with the Wisecrack. And there we go, we just have Hydras. They're not a big issue. Honestly. I just got a Tutata. Yeah, I'm piling. I purposely let that Hydra to get teleported so I could pile them up together, so Sylvar could do damage to both of them consistently. And there we go, both of them are two-headed now. Really sad Brambles grabs there, unfortunately. Because two of them got activated at the same time, which means basically one of them gets wasted. And boom, my Hydra's almost dead. We still have a teleport, we still have the curse, the burning curse or whatever it's called. Unfortunately, Thorny Breath actually is magic damage, so the bleeding does no damage to the Hydra. I believe it does only 3 health per tick. Per bleed tick, I mean. Which is like nothing. So this is why I'm not like auto-canceling Sylvara. Because if I auto-cancel the bleed, it's just gonna do no damage. Unfortunately. But yeah, the Hydra's almost dead. Now Sylvara is out of the Falling Rocks range. She's not gonna die. And there we go. 2 lives, 1 Abominator. Let's go. Now the strategy is basically for Abominator is to stall him as long as possible until the escort wave finishes. Now, funnily enough, most of the escort is actually a dead. What's the word? It's harmful to Abominator. Because the way his insta-kill works is, I believe, if the enemy has 95 HP or less, he triggers his insta-kill. So basically any lizard shot that attacks the reinforcements here is basically gonna trigger the insta-kill. Now I'm doing a really bad job here installing him. But fortunately I did manage to catch him here with the Paragons. And yeah, there's a million troops. He's doing his insta-kill, which wastes a lot of time. The reason I have Sylvar here is to help deal with these lizard chat who would otherwise block my reinforcements from stalling Abominator. So yeah. Nairu's down there to obviously deal with the lizard shot. And any other like troops that come. But yeah, I did successfully manage to catch Abominator over there, and he's actually like evolving now. Well, look at that. Those lizard chat literally just helped me stall Abominator with the insta-kill. Look at that. So many, like, ways to stall Abominator thanks to the escort wave. Like, look at this wise croc. Look at this, look at this. Boom. Insta-kill. Yes, really control. Now, I'm saving vines for these Crokinder that he spits. Because they're actually pretty scary. I don't want to deal with any extra gators here. So I'm just like using vines whenever he uses the elevator. Now we're actually getting pretty far into the escort because killer tiles are coming. And that's basically what we want. We want all of the killer tiles to be wasted, or basically as soon as they stop coming, that's when I basically unload on Abominator. Now, fun fact, after those killer tiles, there's like 2 lizard shot that come out one by one. And they actually helped me here because if you saw that lizard shot, he shot, I believe he shot one of the reinforcements which triggered an insta-kill. And look at that, we're already on the venomous stage of Abominator. Now, unfortunately, I don't get to abuse the second lizard child that came here. He missed, so I sadly couldn't trigger the insta-kill on this guy. Now, we're dealing with, look at that, the acid pool, or the venom pool, I mean, that Abominator spat out once again. Didn't come to his favor because it just triggered his insta-kill instead. This is very good. He's really good, but at the same time his escort really sucks when it comes to stalling him, and his abilities on Venomous and Ignis stages also are very like harmful to him. Look at that, he's already on stage 4. So he's actually pretty slow now. I'm actually letting him walk a bit. Because I believe I want to deal some damage to him. Because in the first attempt he actually made it all the way to the exit until I got him. So I'm not doing that mistake again. I'm just gonna try to do as much damage as possible. Well enough, he's stalling himself pretty well here with all of these abilities that he's trying to use. Yeah, I'm letting him walk over here. That was a really sad two-ta-ta. I got everyone killed, but he eats a tower and just stalls himself. The escort's still going, there's still many killer tails walking. Now, I believe here I make a really stupid mistake. I rebuild this tower, and for some reason I rebuild that tower, and I don't two-ta-ta enough in time. Well, not enough, I just don't two-ta-ta in time. But luckily, he once again uses his ability, stalls himself, and then he spits some right in front of him, which just triggers his instinct. He's basically stalling himself more than I'm stalling him. It's just beautiful. Now, I believe the escort wave with killer class is over, and just in time he's going to his Ignis phase. Oh no, there's still killer tiles coming, but I believe they're like they're the last ones. So it's nothing. Yeah, I got Silvara to deal some damage to Ignis. We basically now we basically want as much damage to him as possible because we can't stop him obviously. So he's just gonna keep walking, ignoring everything. So we're just trying to kill him as soon as possible. Plus he's really like I do end up rebuilding the father tower just for fun. I mean, I have a bunch of gold. I'm not gonna buy anything else. I'm just gonna rebuild towers. Yeah. Last of the killer towers are coming out. And it's just Ignis, those leftover killer tiles, and some lizard shot from the world. Now, here I'm a bit stupid. I wasted the Divine's ability and he just splits Ignis. He immediately punishes me. But fortunately, the later the phase, the less eggs he spits, so they're not really a problem. He's Nairo almost ends up dying, that moved him back. Now he's actually over the half mark. I don't have my vines here, unfortunately, so I'm forced to. Oh, there! I just get them back in time, but I'm not. It's not even worth using them at this point. Yeah, unfortunately, Silvar once again targeting issues. She doesn't shoot Ignis, she shoots Lizard Chan. I just move her back and I just absolutely slaughter. This time I have lines for these eggies. And yeah, no killer tiles, no nothing from the top, it's just lizard shot and Ignis. Now they're piled up fortunately, so I can just absolutely slaughter everything with Silvara. Now, well, I believe this was a mistake, these vines, because I caught everything with Bramble's grasps. So yeah, I don't think this was a good usage, and I think it comes biting me at the end, but I fortunately deal with it. So yeah, Abominer's almost dead. And yeah, he starts spitting eggs. I don't have my ability. Some eggs are like... I believe that egg that just died there, he actually touched the curse. Yeah, it got wasted, so it's pretty scary. If he spits eggs again, then they might leak, but fortunately, he's almost dead. I'm like, screw it, just throw everything, throw the vines. All my towers are safe. Everything is tier 4. Who says this game is gold star? Look at this field. Amazing. And with 2 lives to spare, Abominer goes down. Which com which means that the nature challenge is complete. And that's that, folks. If you want to give it a try, then be my guest, honestly. But yeah, there's not much to say. It was a really fun challenge, really hard challenge. Took many attempts, took many, like, playing with strategies. Because when I started, I just kept losing on wave. I kept leaking both Hydras on wave 9. Then I would lose to the other Hydras. I, it was really, really hard to like find strategies to deal with Hydras while simultaneously dealing with like flyers. But eventually I beat it. Really, really fun. Now that's it, honestly. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you really enjoyed. Sorry for another scuffed commentary and being a bit quiet. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed. So stay tuned for more challenges, more videos, more Wukong's journey actually, because I believe the 4th level could have more exits than it has currently. I might just do another like 6, 7 exits challenge on that level, so hopefully stay tuned for that. But yeah, thanks for watching and have a good day.